Well, hello and welcome to Friday, May 28th, 2021. I am Del Delbridge, Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and this is your status chat. And like usual, I'll wiggle my little pad over here of our numbers that we'll get to. But before we get to it, I think I just want to say, nobody has a crystal ball, and I personally prefer working with people who work when time is of the essence. They keep that drive going, but they don't put the artificial sweat on you. Loans, as we're coming to it, we're all worried about that kind of coming up and jumping up and rates going up, but I honestly don't see the people in control of the Fed really all that excited about creating a slowdown after 2020 and the Rona thing that went around that slowed everything down. I think people are itching to get back to work. I think some states are doing a lot better than others. I think we're doing pretty good, but it is what it is, and I think there's competition even among states that we want our economy to grow fast and yours. And if you're outpacing us, we got to do some stuff that'll make things better, and I think it will be. But speaking strictly of the interest rates, they just a while back it was like, oh my gosh, we're going to tick up just a little bit, and I don't know sometimes if they throw a little rumor out there to spur a little bit more action, and sometimes if they do too much of it, people just go, oh, I'm just tired. Inventory is really low, even though the rates are low. We're just kind of stuck. Some of the stuff that's kind of affected where we are right now, why some of the inventory is low, is on average new construction. I think is expected to be about 1 in 5 houses of the sales that's going to come up in this upcoming season. That 1 in 5 is going to be built. That's a pretty cheerful attitude, because I think the lumber industry has not had a really good time, and I think we are letting them know about it a little bit, and I think that's going to probably bring that stuff back down. But if things slow down too much, they'll have to bring it down because they won't be selling any wood. So we have to look at things like that. We just don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what it's going to do. I think the rates are probably going to, if they're going up, I think they'll tick up just a tiny bit. Don't quote me on that, because in case I'm fooled and misread these things, it might happen. But I think you've got a little bit of time. It's like anything else. You get that feeling, oh my gosh, I got to lock in, get this great rate before it jumps up, because it might go up. And then you lock it in, and then if it doesn't go up, you go, oh gosh, I probably should have waited a little while. I could have, had that flexibility. And if it does, you can't outguess yourself. You just have to do what you have to do and realize that's as good as it's going to get. All a man or woman can do is their very best. So anyway, we got our numbers. We'll do those. You have to look at, I think, a few things. I think 1 in 5 will be new construction. I'd like to see more inventory out there. I think one of the things that's got us in where we are is we have had these low interest rates for so long, really, that lower interest rate lets you buy a nicer, fancier house. It lets you buy a bigger house. It lets you buy, in some cases, a newer house or with newer appliances or whatever. And that itself kind of keeps people a little bit more happy a little bit longer where they're at. And so the normal, what we call the churn rate, how long somebody holds a house before they go buy them another one, I think it's on average about 7 years. Been in this house about 16, which is probably why it needs a good paint job. It's just me, so I don't much care. But maybe you do, and a lot of people get to that stage when they'll stay in a house that needs about a paint job, and then they want to go buy and get them another one. If they're in the schools that they like, if in the area that they like, if the crime is low where they're at, and they have these cool new shops and lots of entertainment, they're just staying in a home a little bit longer. So not a bad thing, actually. Not a bad thing. And a lot of them are watching their equity go up. I would encourage people not to borrow too heavily against your number one asset, which would be your house. I certainly wouldn't refinance the house so I could buy a bigger car or bigger truck. But anyway, let's look at our weekly advertisement that keeps the Tennessee Real Estate Commission happy and me out of trouble. Hello, I'm Dale Delbridge of Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side and room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel, Call Dale to Sell. That's 1 L in Dale, no spaces. Watch the demo on Real Scout and then call me and we'll set up your exclusive ad-free account today. Now that we've got that, how many of you, by the way, how many of you have got that memorized by now? All right. Last week, we had 80-20 in the opportunities in the Real Scout system. Again, jump on that system, get on that, and let me put you in there. 49.75 was in the under contract, still showing both of those numbers tipped down, but the ratio stayed the same at 62%. Now this week we had 79.37, which is a further drop, and we had 4,900 in the opportunities. So both of those down just like they were the previous weeks or so, but the ratio stayed the same at 62%. Almost could tip over to 61% on the ratio, but it didn't, so we'll get there. So anyway, that is your Friday, May 28th status chat. We appreciate you coming by. Thank you.